Welcome back here live at Boone Lake. Today we're here just around the bend from the dam. It's just around the corner there, and I'm joined once again by Chris Sauché. And Chris, we got to talk about some things here, because as the water comes up, there's some things that people need to keep in mind. There's going to be some debris floating around, and that is some safety issues right there.
That's right, Chris. We really want folks to be cognizant of the debris which might be out on the lake. Of course, the lake has never been at this low level where it's at right now for as long as it has been in its entire 70 years of operation. So we're expecting that it could be an unusually high amount of debris out on the lake. We will have crews in partnership with the Boone Lake Association managing that debris for the entire time of this raise, but folks just need to be very aware, especially in those areas where the water's coming into for the first time in the past 6 years.
And I know you're also doing some vegetation eradication, making sure that, you want to leave some of that vegetation out there. It's going to lend some, so the TWRA tells me it's going to make fishing incredible here when everything gets back up, but you're also taking care of the vegetation as well.
That's right. We have heard it's going to be a great season to the safety message and folks being aware when they get out on the lake. But you're right. So we've mulched over 2,200 acres of that vegetation around the lake, trying to manage the vegetation as the lake's been down. But we expect, obviously, that's an effort which is going to need to continue a little bit, and obviously the management of the debris itself is going to be a big effort for us as we come to the race.
And I do want to remind our viewers, coming up on April the 24th, there is going to be a big Boone Lake property owners cleanup going on here all around the lake here. So that is a great time. If you're interested, come on out and help clean up the lake, take care of all that litter and debris that is floating around.
Yeah, they've been great partners throughout this process and great stewards of the lake. We've given them some equipment, and they've certainly worked with us and the project team to help keep things clean, and that's going to be a big deal this year. So any folks that are interested, we'd love to have you out.
Y'all got constant input from property owners, didn't you, through this whole process?
We have. I mean, we tried to be very sensitive to the needs of the community. I mean, we knew it was going to be a big deal when we pulled the lake down, and it was going to be a difficult time for some of those folks in the community. So we've tried to stay in touch with key stakeholders and marina operators and folks who live out on the lake and hear their concerns and try to manage the vegetation and do what we can. TVA's got an important mission to serve the people of the valley and make things better when we leave than we were when we first arrived.
And speaking of leaving things better, y'all have done some projects surrounding the main project going on at the dam, like this beach area here, boat ramps like the one we're on here. You've done some other projects in addition to that to make things better.
Yeah, so a couple of boat ramps, as you mentioned. We'll be renewing the boat ramp, which has always been here at the site for future use as well. We've got the beach that's active right now, but to be clear, in the coming year, this beach is going to be inundated by the water that's coming up. The beach we will restore over at the main site, but it's not going to be open yet either. There'll be a construction project underway where we're building a concrete wall atop the dam, and for the proximity of that construction to the beach is a little close, and so for public safety, that beach will not be open this year either.
Water is going to be rising on average about 2 feet a week until July. How deep will it be when you get to that full?
Well, it'll be about 22 feet above where we are today, so it's a significant rise. It'll be all the way up to 1382 if we make it. So I want to emphasize, you showed a schedule earlier of our targets for the year.
Right.
Those are targets, right? There may be reasons why we would be a little bit off target. It doesn't necessarily mean there's an incident at the dam. We're not going to do any of these raises without them being safe for the downstream public, so we're aware of that. But we're also trying to collect some information about the way the site responds, the way water flows, and so it might simply be that we need a little bit more information before we move on to the next step. So there are reasons why we might not be exactly on those targets.
But that's where you're shooting.
That's what we're shooting for.
I love the fact that this lake is going to be back the way it was when I was a kid growing up, and we got the TVA to thank for that. And Chris Sauché, thank you for taking some time with us today.
Well, I get to say, I received that thanks on behalf of a huge group of folks that have been involved, including our partners in the community. So we're happy to be here.
All right, folks, the water is rising. 7 inches since midnight last night. We're going to average about 2 feet a day up until July, so we're going to get it back up 22 feet here. And where we're at right now, probably close to being underwater right now.
2 feet a week.
2 feet a week, sorry. 2 feet a week. Chris, thank you so much for all the great information, and thanks for all the hard work the TVA has done here at Boone Lake. And we got some information for you right there on the screen. If you got questions, make sure to check out that website right there on the screen. And we're going to check on the weather right now.